Libra Casper, have you ever spent so much time trying to make the right decision that you end up making no decision at all? You want everything to be right, you want everyone to be okay, you want to avoid mistakes, avoid conflict, and somehow keep everything under control. But underneath all that, your soul is actually trying, or your soul is actually craving something simpler. I'm hearing peace. If you are a Virgo Libra Casper, today's soul blueprint may explain why you can be your own biggest critic while secretly longing to just breathe and let life flow. Beautiful souls, welcome in my Virgo Libra Casper souls. Thank you for being here and hitting that like button. You guys create such an interesting combination because both signs care deeply about doing things the right way, but maybe they approach it differently. Virgo looks at life and says, how can I improve this? What needs fixing? What am I missing? Libra looks at life and says, is this fair? Is everyone okay? How can we find balance? So imagine having both voices inside you. You make a decision and Virgo starts analyzing it. Was that actually the best choice? And then a Libra comes in and says, but how is everyone else going to feel about it? And suddenly you're sitting there thinking about a decision that should have been just should have taken 5 minutes, not 5 days, right? Maybe you've been asked maybe you've asked 3 different people for their opinion, and only then to realize that you're still not sure what you want. That's one of the beautiful and sometimes exhausting things about this cusp, is that you can see multiple sides of a situation. You notice details other people miss. You can understand why one person feels the way they do, while also understanding that the other person's point of view. But sometimes your ability to see every side makes it difficult to also choose your own side. And there's another layer here, that the Virgo can be incredibly self-critical, and Libra can be incredibly aware of harmony and how other people respond to them. So you may have maybe learned to edit yourself. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should have done this differently. Maybe they're upset with me. Maybe I need to fix this. But your soul blueprint isn't here to tell you to become less caring. It's here to show you that peace doesn't come from controlling every outcome. Sometimes peace comes from trusting yourself enough to let things unfold. So today we're not predicting the future, right? We're just getting to know you as the person underneath the perfectionism, the person underneath the overthinking, the person underneath the need to keep everyone happy. Because there's so much deeper soul inside this cusp, all right? There's a much deeper soul inside you, all right? And Spirit wants you to meet that version of yourself. So let's dive in and have a look at the soul lesson, all right? Using the Mystical Shaman Oracle. We have Thunder here, 56. This is how Spirit is describing your unique soul, my Virgo Libras. Thunder is about awakening. And also Spirit's coming through to say, okay, don't let this intensity of this card scare you, okay? Because Thunder is about awakening. It's the moment something becomes impossible to ignore. And I feel this describes a soul that isn't here to simply live on autopilot. You maybe experienced moments in your life where something suddenly changed your perspective. Maybe a relationship ended. Maybe you lost something you thought you needed. Maybe you reached a point where you said, I can't keep doing this anymore. Or maybe there was simply a moment when you realized, I've been living according to what everyone else expects me to. Thunder comes in and wakes you up. So for my Virgo Libra Cuspers, the awakening can happen around perfectionism and people pleasing. You maybe spend years trying to make everything work, trying to be reasonable, trying to be helpful, trying to be the good person, trying to not disappoint anyone. And then eventually your soul says, but what about me? That is thunder. It's not necessarily destruction. It's more about the clarity. Sometimes it's clarity. Maybe even sometimes it's the moment that you finally stop ignoring what your intuition has been trying to tell you. Like your soul carries the energy of wake up, pay attention. Something inside of you is asking to change. You weren't created to spend your entire life trying to make everyone else comfortable. You were here to discover what is true to you. So if this thunder represents the awakening, all right, let's then dive into your hidden gift. The hidden gift that comes when you stop fighting against the natural rhythm of your own life. This is from the Gaia Oracle, all right? Internal dance, movement, wheel of life, path of least resistance. So the hidden gift that you need to embrace within yourself. And remember, sometimes our greatest gifts aren't the part of ourselves that we've spent years trying to hide. Your hidden gift is your ability to find balance through movement, not control. This card is actually beautiful because it says that you don't always have to push. You don't always have to force. You don't always have to figure everything out before you move. Sometimes the answer is simply to move with life. Virgo may want a plan. Libra may want everyone to agree, but life doesn't always give us either, all right? Sometimes the path changes. Someone changes their mind, an opportunity disappears, a friendship evolves, or maybe your plans just don't work out. And your first reaction may be, okay, how do I fix this? But what if Spirit's saying, what if you don't need to fix everything? What if you just need to adjust? What if there's another path? What if there's an easier path? What if the easier path isn't the wrong path? You don't have to abandon your standards. You don't have to stop caring. You simply have to become a little bit more flexible, right? There may be many ways to arrive where you're meant to be. The gift is learning how to remain grounded and still allowing life to move around you. So, my Virgo Libra CUSPers, why do you naturally experience life this way? So we have the Queen of Swords. All right. And we're going to clarify this. The High Priestess. Beautiful combination for you because this is the combination of intellect and intuition. You have a mind that observes and notices details. You read between the lines. You don't always need someone to explain what's happening because you can often sense it. The Queen of Swords is the truth, right? The High Priestess senses the truth. So together they create someone who can be incredibly perspective. Am I saying that correct? You might walk into a room and immediately know something is different. Nobody has said anything. Nobody has explained anything, but you can feel it. Maybe you're talking to someone and notice their tone has slightly changed. Like the words that say, I'm fine, but something inside you says, no, you're not. And often you're right? But here's where the overthinking can begin, that once you've noticed something, your mind wants an explanation. Why did they say it like that? Did I do something? What does it mean? And then suddenly your intuition becomes an animus, all right? Your gift isn't that you think about everything. Your gift is that you notice what other people overlook. The lesson is learning when you receive enough information that you don't need another 5 explanations. Sometimes your first knowing was enough, right? This isn't something that's wrong with you. It's just part of how your soul experiences the world. And so with that, let's dive into what is your inner strength that keeps you moving forward. So here's the Page of Swords, all right? More air energy coming through, all right? Curious, all right? and the Two of Swords. I've already seen double twos, could really be significant for some of you. All right, so Two of Swords, Page of Swords, Two of Swords, a lot of sword energy coming out. Your strength is the ability to keep learning, questioning, and looking for understanding, even when you're uncertain. All right, the Page of Swords is that, again, that curious energy. It doesn't simply accept everything at face value. It asks the questions, it researches, it watches, right? And then the Two of Swords says that you also are capable of pausing before reacting. All right, it's another intuition card that's coming out. The High Priestess is intuition, and the Two of Swords is also like they're making their decisions. All right, not seeing everything. All right, this is like actually the powerful survival skill. All right, that you may not always make decisions quickly, but you often don't rush blindly into things. Like, you think, you observe, you gather information, you wait until something feels right. And yes, sometimes it becomes indecision, but it's also the health. This is also healthy, right? It's the healthiest because this is like discernment, right? You probably survive situations simply because you took maybe a step back and thought, something doesn't feel right here. And strength isn't measured by how often life knocks you down. It's actually measured by how many times your soul chooses to rise again. There's some sort of noise happening in the background. I do apologize if it's coming through on the recording. It sounds like a grinder or something. Let's have a look out the window. All right, so I've closed the window. Let's hope that is better. So we're looking at the biggest misunderstanding people have about my Virgo Libra CUSP, right? Seven of Swords, all right? Let's get another one out here. And we have the Hermit. Okay, this is very interesting because many people may sometimes misunderstand your need for privacy. When you become quiet, when you pull back, when you stop explaining yourself, someone may assume that you're being secretive. They may think, what is going on with them, or why are they avoiding me? But sometimes you simply processing. Like the Hermit is the energy of needing space to understand what is happening internally. With the Seven of Swords, it can represent choosing what you share and what you keep private. You may have maybe learned that not everybody deserves access to every part of your life. And honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You're not required to explain every thought. You're not required to tell everyone your plans. You're not required to reveal your vulnerabilities to people who haven't earned your trust. The misunderstanding is that your privacy can look like distance, but there's also a difference between being secretive and being selective. You may even simply need time to work things out on your own, right? And then when you are ready, you can come back with a much better or clearer understanding of what you actually feel. All right, 7 and 9s could be significant. 79. This is your shadow side. All right, we have the 10 of Wands. Like, I'm getting the energy of, I got it, I will do it. Like, I'll do it myself. Don't worry about me. All right. Page of Wands. Yeah, your shadow may be carrying too much, all right, while trying to convince yourself that you can handle more, all right. But yeah, meanwhile, like, I feel like with the Page of Wands here, like, you have this excitement and creativity and crave new experiences. You may end up with interesting contradictions. Like, you want something new, but you also exhausted from carrying everything you've already committed to. Maybe you say yes because you don't want to disappoint someone. Maybe you take responsibility because you know you will do it properly. Maybe you become the person everyone relies on, and eventually you're just wondering, why am I so tired? You may also have a habit maybe of putting your own dreams last, all right? Something you're dreaming about, putting it last because you're carrying so many other people's responsibilities and burdens. It's like the energy of I'll do it when everything else is sorted, but everything is really completely sorted. Sometimes you just have to put yourself back onto your own priority list, all right? You don't need to carry every problem simply because you're capable of carrying it. So I'm hearing something about that your shadow isn't something to fear. It's just simply that there is a part of you that maybe still needs to heal, all right? And each of your timelines will be completely different, all right? So maybe this is not your shadow, but one of your shadows maybe, okay? We all got a number of shadows, all right? Here we have your hidden superpower. Interesting that we have the 5 of Wands here. Okay, let's get another one out here. 10 of Pentacles. Very, very, very interesting. 5 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles, your hidden superpower. Maybe you may feel, you may actually be incredibly good at navigating different personalities, opinions, and competing priorities. Right? 5 of Wands is like the energy that brings different people, different ideas, different approaches, competitive energies. 10 of Pentacles is the energy of stability, community, long-term foundations. Maybe your gift may be your ability to take chaos and eventually help you create structure from it. Think about family situations perhaps, or work situations, or friend groups. You may find yourself being the person who sees, okay, this person needs this, that person needs that. Here's what the real problem is. And you can often see the bigger picture while also noticing the details. Virgo helps organize, Libra helps meditate. And so together, you can become someone who creates environments where people can actually work together. You don't necessarily need to be the loudest person in the room, all right? I'm hearing your leadership can come through your ability to understand people, to bring different viewpoints together, to create something stable out of something that's a little messy. Your greatest strength isn't just choosing between, also again, your 2 zodiac signs. It's just about allowing both parts of yourself to work together. And the lesson, let's have a look at what lesson is Spirit teaching you right now. So we got the 4 of Pentacles and we're clarifying it by the moon. I feel this a deep lesson here, all right? Like Spirit isn't asking you to look at what you're holding on to because you're afraid of what might happen if you let go, all right? 4 of Pentacles can be the energy of security. Moon is the energy, can be uncertainty. A lot of intuition energy coming through your reading, right? We've got the High Priestess, we've got the 2 Swords, and we've got the Moon. Right? It's like using your intuition. You've got a very strong intuition, I'm hearing. This combination can also say, if I control everything, maybe I won't get hurt. But you can't control every outcome. You can't control what another person chooses. You cannot control whether someone understands you. You can't control every change. And you can't always think your way through uncertainty. Sometimes you just have to trust yourself inside the unknown. Maybe you're holding on to a relationship because you're afraid of being alone. Maybe you're holding on to an old version of yourself because it's familiar. Maybe you're holding on to a plan because changing directions feels like failure. But sometimes letting go isn't giving up. Sometimes it's just making room for something healthier, room for peace, room for a new perspective, room for your real self to breathe. You don't need to know exactly what is going to happen next, right? You just simply have to trust that you can handle the next step. And this isn't about becoming, again, someone different. It's about becoming more of who you've always been. So let's have a look at your final message here, beautiful souls. We have spirit bloom. Your soul is blooming, or your soul is flowering. I don't know why I put my own word in there. Your soul is flowering. Perhaps your soul is blooming. Same thing, almost right. You know, just, you know, a flower is not something that forces itself to open up. It doesn't look at the flower next to it and say, why am I not blooming as quickly as you are? It grows according to its own rhythm. And maybe there's that is like something that you also need to remember, that you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to make the perfect choice every time. You don't have to keep everyone happy. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to carry everything. You're allowed to grow slowly. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to take a different path. You're allowed to bloom in your own time. Virgo side gives you discernment. Your Libra side gives you grace. Virgo helps you notice what needs change. Libra reminds you that life doesn't always have to become a battle every time something changes. You can be discerning without being critical. You can be kind without abandoning yourself. You can seek peace without avoiding difficult truths. And you can love people without carrying the entire world on your shoulders. So no matter what the cards that have appeared here today, all right, just remember that your soul wasn't created by accident, all right? The two energies that you carry aren't meant to compete. They're actually meant to complete each other, all right? Combined. And you don't have to choose between being practical and being peaceful. You can be both. You don't have to choose between having standards and having softness. You can be both. You don't have to choose between thinking carefully and trusting your intuition. Your wisdom lives in the balance between them. So I'm hearing, let yourself breathe. Let yourself release what you no longer need to carry. Let yourself trust the path even when you cannot see the whole road. And most importantly, I'm hearing, be that flower and let yourself bloom. Your soul is not behind. Your soul is not broken. Your soul is not falling. You are becoming. You are unfolding. You are flowering. Trust your journey. Trust your intuition. Trust your growth. And most importantly, trust yourself. So my Virgo Libra cuspers, this was your soul blueprint. Maybe it made you think, okay, you just described me. So maybe let me know in the comments, like, what part of this reading hit the deepest? Was it the overthinking, the need to make that perfect decision, the way you maybe sense things without people saying it, maybe the habit of carrying a little too much, or maybe it's the reminder that you don't have to control everything to be safe. Maybe your story might just help another soul out, all right? That person will think, I'm not the only one who feels like this. Thank you for liking the video, being subscribers, hitting that notification bell, leaving comments. Don't forget to check out the other videos, like your monthlies, your weeklies, all right, other messages that are there, right? This soul blueprint is just understanding the deeper part of you, where your monthly readings are a little bit different. They help you connect to the energies that you are moving through at that particular time. So I encourage you to explore both. Hey, and if you know another Virgo Libra who's constantly trying to make everything perfect, trying to help everyone keep happy, or simply needs permission to breathe and trust herself, maybe send this reading to them. Maybe this message they've just been waiting to hear, right? And then I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for like opening up your heart here, and thank you for being part of the mystical soul tribe. And remember, you don't have to control every outcome. You don't have to carry everyone. You don't have to make the perfect choice. You don't have to know exactly what happens next. Sometimes the most beautiful thing you can do is loosen your grip. Take a deep breath, right? Trust the path beneath your feet. And because your soul's already growing, all right? Your soul's already healing. Your soul is already blooming, it's already flowering. Don't be afraid of the changes. Don't be afraid of the unknown. And don't be afraid to choose yourself. Let yourself bloom. Sending you so much love and light and blessings, and I'll check you around in the next one.